and all. Ah. Alrighty. Friends, I'd like to go ahead and begin our practice by just inviting everybody to find a posture in their bodies that feel at ease. It could include lying down. It could include moving around. You know, sometimes when we're trying to get into a reflective state, stillness is not always available. And if that's where your body is today, if you're online, please go ahead and turn your cameras off and feel comfortable to move around. Maybe you can do a little prep work for your luncheon or your dinner. Maybe there's a junk drawer that's been calling your name, and today's the day to dump it out and go through it as this meditation is happening in the background. I really want to encourage a spirit of ease for our practice today. I'd like to share with you a sentiment of metta, loving kindness, as a way of setting the intention for our practice today. And I'm going to invite the chime to sing as a melodious welcome for the body and mind to settle and for the heart to soften and open. Welcome, one and all. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in this beautiful community. And the sentiment of metta I have chosen for you today is, may you celebrate your life. May you celebrate your life. In the Spokane Sangha for the month of June, we are exploring the Noble Eightfold Path, which is a foundational aspect to the Buddhist practice. Some would say that the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path is the foundation of a Buddhist practice. For me and my first person experience, that is true. And the truth is, there are other fundamental practices that really create the foundation of my practice. Nevertheless, today, we're going to explore the first four elements, the first four signposts, guides, whatever you want to refer to them as, on the Noble Eightfold Path. Depending upon what you read or who you read, you might encounter words like right intention or wise intention. I like to use the word wise. And the reason is because the word right, for me, immediately stirs up its opposites. Where there is right, there is wrong. Wisdom, on the other hand, is a space conceptually that can hold both the rightness and the wrongness. So we begin with wise intention. Today we've created an intention of celebration. Your life. You are alive. And that is a rare, precious thing. The second aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path is wise understanding. And as we begin to mature and open into this practice, the avenues of understanding begin to open up to the point that we realize, wow, there are an infinite way of looking at any one experience, any one situation. And by looking at a single experience or a single thought or a single body sensation from as many angles as possible, we broaden our understanding. And the miracle of that process is the more we understand, the more ease we begin to experience. The third aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path is wise action, to take our intention, to take our understanding and allow that to guide our actions with wisdom versus the impulsivity that has so often governed our lives and our negative habit energy. The Buddha, in his infinite wisdom, knew that one of the most difficult actions, one of the most challenging aspects for human beings, as a way of expressing intention, as a way of experiencing understanding, and as a way of being unskillful, is in our speech. The way we talk to ourselves and the way we talk to one another. So the fourth aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path is wise speech. It's extraordinary to think about not only the words we say, but the tone we use to carry the words. It's important to acknowledge that sometimes what we say is delivered to a recipient who does not have the capacity to receive. And therefore, our speech, our wisdom, might land like a lead balloon. And that can set off a cascade of thought, impulsive reactivity, and so forth. So there's so much to explore in wise speech. It's not just the words you say. It's how you speak. It's the timing of your speech. It's the capacity of the recipient. It's the motivation behind your communication. It's your own well-being driving your communication. So much involved there. So today, for our practice, I am feeling very tender in my heart and in my mind. I have a lot going on in my life right now, in my personal life right now. Some of it is amazing, some of it's challenging, and I feel a little bit, I'm feeling into the pile-on. This is happening, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And so I'm working with a bit of overwhelm, a bit of exhaustion. And whenever I get into this state, which I do periodically, and I used to fight it, I used to resist it because I didn't actually know how to work with this. I know how to work with this now. But in my past, what would happen is because I'm a highly creative person, I'm energetic, I get shit done, I make things happen, it's amazing, but I burn myself out at times. And I used to get down on myself about it. I used to pound that hammer. Get with it, Julia. Why are you denying yourself? What's the matter with you? How did you get yourself so burned out? On and on and on I would go. Not a very kind way of speaking to myself. And not only was it unkind, it wasn't remotely motivating or encouraging. And it also ignored the goodness of my creativity. I got burned out and I got exhausted because what I was doing was amazing. But I didn't focus on that. I just focused on the exhaustion because the exhaustion feels so bad. Now I know, and now I practice both. So while I feel exhausted, while I feel the pile-on, I'm looking at the pylon. I'm looking at each element, each layer of it, and I'm taking stock. I'm gaining access to wise understanding, and I'm looking at my actions, my wise actions, my reactivity. And through all of this, I'm threading this intention to be kind to myself, to be thoughtful, to honor my body with extra rest, to feed my body good food, to not whip myself like some taskmaster, but instead to use the power of my encouragement, my acknowledgement, my kindness and care for myself. And I'm sharing that with you now, which is beautiful and such a kind thing to do. So what's happening to me in my biology is my sympathetic nervous system is in one of three states. It's in the state of exhaustion. Okay, that's happening. I don't have to make it a big deal. I also don't have to pretend that it's nothing. It's something. So what can I do? Well, I can acknowledge that my sympathetic nervous system, in its state of resistance, alarm, and exhaustion, is there for a very ancient biological reason. These states of being in my sympathetic nervous system, often outside of my control, have kept my DNA alive for thousands of years. It's a good thing. And coupled with my sympathetic nervous system is its opposite, my parasympathetic nervous system. That's another part of my biology. And this part of my biology is all about restoration, relaxation, openness, and ease. And the way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system is to simply and profoundly breathe. Isn't that amazing? All we have to do is breathe. So for the next several minutes today, in something let's call sacred silence, turn your gaze inward to your own biology and notice if your own sympathetic nervous system is churning in a feeling, a sensation of resistance. Is there anything that you're resisting? Maybe a feeling, maybe a thought. Maybe you're chewing on an experience that happened and it feels unpleasant. You don't quite know how to let it go. Maybe there's something nonverbal happening in the body and you just feel tight and clamped down. Some kind of nervousness or anxiety that doesn't necessarily have a source. And maybe that's a little bit of an alarm going off in your body to pay attention, to look around, to notice. It could be just an old echo. Maybe you're a little bit like me and you've got a lot going on and you feel a little exhausted by it. That's okay. Just notice. Keep that gaze inward. You don't have to work too hard to puzzle this out. Be very light about it. Take a broad view. Notice. And coupled with all of this noticing, breathe. Breathing in, breathing out. And as the time ticks away, see if you can bring your attention deeper and deeper to this faithful companion, your breath. And see if you notice the breathing beginning to slow down, longer inhalations, longer exhalations. And if that is not happening for you, notice that too. Just keep your attention on the breath. Gentle, easy inhalation, exhalation. Enjoy your sacred silence. Friends, as we take a step toward the conclusion of this practice today, I want to remind everybody that these simple practice, this basic return to the breath, has fully incorporated the four noble elements of the Eightfold Path. We set an intention to invite a spirit of celebration to our lives. I demonstrated for you my understanding of exhaustion, how it presented in the past, how it continues to present in the present, and yet with a slight different action toward myself. I am able to work with this exhaustion, this sympathetic nervous system state that's perfectly normal in a whole new way. And one of the things I'm enacting is the way I speak to myself, the way I encourage myself, and by extension, the way I'm kind and encouraging to others. As you learn to work with your states of resistance, alarm, or exhaustion. And another action we took together communally is we became aware of our breath. And by doing so, we increased the oxygen in all the cells of the body, thereby improving all of the function of our organs, the body system in general. This is an extraordinary thing. So small, so simple, so profound. It creates a harmonized mind and heart. It rejuvenates and restores the spirit, and together we feel more solid and steady in ourselves and in life. What a gift to bring to the world, to bring to your afternoon. What a way to celebrate your precious life. Let's go ahead and end our practice with a dedication of merit. In Buddhism, there is something called the Four Noble Reminders. So there's the Four Noble Truths, the Four Limitless Qualities, the Four Noble Reminders. The first noble reminder: you have a precious human life. The Buddha, in his infinite wisdom, awakened to this preciousness. He awakened to the causes and conditions of misery and malcontent that inhibited his awareness and his celebration of the preciousness and the rarity of his life. To be a Buddha and to step into one's own Buddhahood is simply to awaken. To awaken to the magnificence, to awaken to the simplicity, to awaken to the grief and bewilderment and confusion, to awaken to kindness and softness and tenderness, to awaken to connection and belonging. May you awaken brightly, boldly, gently. Your presence here is a blessing. Namaste.